2, 1.
Hey, we're on. Press
that never gets old.
Okay, cool. No, it doesn't. Greetings, all. I'm NYPete, co-host of Interfleet Broadcasting. I'm here with my best friend, Chris.
Yo.
Yeah, there we go.
Cylons rule, Colonials drool.
Also known as the Tipsy Toaster.
Triple T, baby.
Yeah, all right, all right. I want to thank everybody for joining us on our news and pop culture sci-fi entertainment show. And full disclosure, you must know that we grew up watching 70s and 80s TV movies, comics, cartoons, and we are big BSG fans, Battlestar Galactica fans.
Huge.
And so, welcome to our corner of the universe known as IFB Interfleet Broadcasting. And we have special guest. Special guest. Oh my God, we got Matt Bush is with us, artist Matt Bush. He's going to talk to us. Big fan. He's a fan himself, and he's got a whole bunch of things to tell us about his work and, doing Star Wars, Galactica. He's done all kinds of franchise artwork. He is one of those at the top of his game, and we're really, really honored to have him on. Thanks to John One for taking care of that. And I think it's time.
Thank God, I've been dying for this all week. What are you kidding?
Oh my God.
All right, so I'm going to pull Pete up, and I will read off the brew of the day.
Yes.
So the brew of the day is Skipping Rock Baltic Porter. Pete, you better watch out. This is 9.2% alcohol.
Oh,
you're going to be picking yourself off the floor, or you're going to be pouring it onto your keyboard as usual.
Yes, that's exactly what. Those are my two choices.
Yes, this robust porter has been in lagered and decadent perfection. I knew I was going to mess that up. I read it earlier.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
This robust porter has been lagered to decadent perfection. It's too many doggone syllables tonight. All right, not even haven't started drinking yet. So, note of dark fruit, chocolate, and caramelized sugar shine through prominently, along with a light sweetness and noticeable alcohol. So Pete's probably not going to like it because it's got alcohol in it. An abyss of deliciousness.
Thanks, Chris.
Here at Skipping Rock Beer Company, we are inspired to create beers of exceptional quality down to the smallest detail. So why don't you join us? Grab a pint, and we'll start jamming to this beautiful way of living.
All right,
that is
cool.
Skipping Rock Baltic Porter.
It's great. It's great beer, and we want to thank Superfan Fran and John for sponsoring our drinks tonight. We really appreciate it. And everybody's joining us. Paul is on, and Mike DeBrune is on from Texas, and let's see,
Dave's on.
Frank Gore, James McCoy, and
I swear to God, I'm going to find you the thing that says, and I see so and so, and I see so and so.
You should get it.
I'm going to get you, so you can have the magic mirror, and we can date ourselves with the romper room. But
why not? That's not. That wasn't romper room.
Yes, it was.
It was romper room.
Yes.
Oh. Wow.
You don't remember romper room?
I do, but I didn't remember. I thought it was the.
And I see Karen, and I see Jason, and happy birthday to so and so. And
remember the Magic Garden? That's what I remember. Anyway, romper room it was. Okay, Fran, you're right.
So you ready? Yes. Let's open these things up. I've been waiting all week for this. You talking?
2, 3.
Woohoo! Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yours is foamy too, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Did you get it on your keyboard as usual?
I did not. My brand new keyboard.
From the last one, you get stuck because you dumped the other one out.
No kidding. Let's go.
All right.
Pour it.
Ready? Pouring.
Crap. Oh boy, it's all over the place.
Oh, look how dark it is.
You sabotaged me.
As dark as my soul.
Yeah, no kidding. It went all over.
This could be oil for Cylons. I swear. That'll be good.
So, oh my God, this is just.
It's just not thick enough yet. It's like, it's not 10W30, but I have my Cylon cup tonight.
Listen, you're an android, whether you like it or not. You're not a Cylon. You're an android. You're like a 1980. You're a Galactica 1980 Cylon. That's what you are.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's there's no need to call names now. Stop. Don't be mean. I mean, I do control. Hang on. I can just turn you off. I can just.
Bye. Bye. I saw their costume was up for sale at one of the celebrity auctions.
They probably can't give it away.
They wanted like thousands of dollars for it. Like,
somebody's like, I'll buy that for $1. There's your reference to RoboCop.
Yeah, no kidding.
The Sucks 2000.
Your robot alter ego. Anyway, all right, guys. Well,
here's to everybody. So thank you very much for joining us.
Yes.
There we go. We always salute the fans, because the fans are what makes this all possible. People who are behind the scenes, like artists, like the one we have tonight, people who write fiction, fan fiction, people who write the stories, people who direct the things. The actors are out there. That's great. That's fantastic. But it's the people who are kind of behind the scenes that create this universe, that give us this visual that we live through. We want it. We want more of it. We create new pieces for it. We make our own art for it. We make our own fan fiction. So those are the people that drive the fleet. So we always say fans fuel the fleet. So here's to you.
Here's to the fans. Wow. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Oof.
Oh, you don't like it? You better finish it tonight. You told me you didn't finish the other one last night.
You better just relax. You need to calm down. What you need. It's good.
I drank coffee before I came on, so I'm good.
So did I. That's why you're all, Let's see, real quick. Bert Oliver Bomer, thank you for joining us live. Appreciate it. And so you guys, as you come on, drop us a hello so that we can recognize you on air. Appreciate you coming on. And everybody else that watches us in rerun, there's thousands of you out there that tune in. So thank you very, very much from all over, from Brazil and the Philippines and everywhere, Europe, all over the place. You guys come on. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. And we look forward to having you watch and come on. Oh, by the way, there's conventions coming up, so we'll talk about those later. For now, I want to let you know that our special guest, Matt Busch, is waiting for us in the green room. So let's bring him on and let's start talking about art and sci-fi and Galactica and Star Wars and everything else that's out there. Because
and the extraordinary talent that he has.
Oh my God, Matt! Welcome to IFB. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. You know what? I was about to give you guys some flack before I saw that you were pouring your beers in glasses. I was going to say, I can't believe you guys aren't drinking out of your...
He's got one.
Excellent.
I totally came prepared.
To the right show.
Yep. Mine's dirty over in the corner, so I didn't bring that one out.
What are you drinking out of? Oh, you're drinking
I'm drinking out of my Cylon mug tonight.
All right. What a Cylon.
I had coffee in it earlier, so now it's empty, so I had to put something in it.
Tipsy toaster, of course. Absolutely. Caffeine and alcohol.
I love the way that this looks. You guys have to have trading cards that look like this, right? Where you've got these borders and the names. These look like awesome trading cards.
Well, we created our own trading cards for our movie, so we can send you a set if you want.
There we go.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Love it.
That's the Ibley one.
Font. Oh, that looks awesome.
Oh yeah.
We'll send you a set.
Yeah, we'll send you a set. Please. No problem. But speaking of sets, oh, look at this.
Wow.
This is, yeah.
Very nice. But do you have one of these? At one point, I don't know if it was from the same set, but someone at some point sent me one of these. There's only 600 of them.
Yeah, we've been looking for those.
It's on the canvas as well, but it's one of the full color.
Yeah, that's a box topper, I believe, correctly.
It's a box topper, man.
Yeah, so that's only certain boxes had those in them. $500.
Don't move that around, man, because that'll grow legs, bro.
I think that's a special. I think we looked that one up the other day. It's over $150.
Oh, easy. Yeah, that came in this. That was the complete Battlestar Galactica. This box was so cool because it had like, autographs in it, and 2 autographs per box from Rittenhouse.
But he's got a
look, I got the wrapper.
He's got one that's unopened. But does it have gum in it? That's the question.
Nope.
No.
No.
Nothing like eating 40-year-old gum. I did that the other day. So.
Yeah, well, it was like last year. So we opened up the original in the yellow packs, Matt, and the challenge was that Chris would eat the gum, and he did, and it was awesome.
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah, it was so cool.
Was it even chewy, or did it just crumble like
it crumbled, and the best way I could describe it was, how a museum smells. Think of that as a taste.
Okay.
The museum smell was a taste. That was it. It just crumbled in your mouth, and it was no chewy whatsoever. It just kind of powdered. It was like, it's one of those tastes you'll never forget.
You'll never forget. Well, that's what you get from 40-year-old Battlestar Galactica gum. And we wanted to know from you, Matt, like, what was it like when you got a chance to put these, the cards that we were holding up before, and to work with Rittenhouse? I mean, this stuff is so cool. It took me a while to get all these. What was it like doing this kind of stuff?
An interesting story that happened with those cards. Rittenhouse had contacted me, and I think they wanted me to do some art, but at the time I was already locked in. I was busy doing something else. I couldn't do anything new. And then they asked if they could just use, I think they already had permission from Realm Press, but they asked if they could use, because I had already done this book here, and the back of the prelude to the Eve of Destruction, those were just these sketches that I had done. I did this like sketchbook section in the back, and they asked if they could use those as cards, and I was like, absolutely. So I had already done the work, and it was just like, wow, now they're cool trading cards, and they printed them on the the cool canvas stock, so they feel like they're, I don't know.
Oh yeah,
canvas
they're
prints
cool.
Or something. Yeah,
they're cool. Oh yeah, and they're exclusive too. They're not the regular ones. So you get those. I don't know how many packs you go through before you might run into them. So I actually gotten one when I bought the box, and then I had to go out and hunt down the rest of these. So it was really, really cool. You've done comic books too, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
So you've done a lot of different kind of work. It's not just, you actually even did the cover of one of the Richard Hatch books. I mean, you actually worked with Richard Hatch. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, 2 of them, and gosh, he was such a nice guy. I talked with him on the phone at length. He basically got to art direct kind of what was going on with his book. He had a lot of control with the company to kind of see through his vision, and that was a lot of fun to do. And then for the second one, it was interesting because I think I had just done the comp. So a lot of times I'll do a bunch of sketches until one gets approved, and then I'll do a smaller comp just to like make sure the colors are kind of what they're thinking. And then once I get the green light for that, I do a big giant painting. So for the second one, I did this sketch that was approved, and then I did the color comp, and then I never heard from the company again, and I never got paid. But I saw this in bookstores, and I was like, years later, I was like, what? And I had no idea that it had come out, but this is actually not even, I mean, it's kind of a finished painting, but this is a comp. That's why it almost, like, you can kind of tell the quality is a little bit different from this one here. But the other crazy thing is I illustrated a wraparound cover, because it was supposed to be a hardcover like this, and it was supposed to have a wraparound back cover, but instead it was, to my knowledge, it's only been released as a soft cover, and then boo, no interest, except it's got Richard Hatch's photo. But the back cover was the coolest part of this, and I don't have the original anymore, and I'm trying to think where that is. It might even be the company that I did this for. They might even have the original.
Oh boy, you should get it back and make some prints.
I would love to. The
Oh
back was
yeah.
really cool. It had like this swirling wormhole, and I can't remember if like ships were getting sucked into it or something like
Oh
that.
my
It was
God,
really,
that's cool.
yeah, it was really neat. That was like the best part. And then but then they eliminated like you can't even see it. So
Oh my
anyway,
God.
but it was still a lot of fun to do, and yeah, it was an interesting time before it was at the height of, Battlestar fandom, this thing where we were, really wanting it to come back, and then we got the new show, which I also thought was cool, but it just doesn't have the same it's not the original, and there were cool things about the new version, but I think the classic always has a special place in my heart, as I'm sure it does for
As
you
it does
guys
with
too.
us. Matt, you've been illustrating for Battlestar stuff going back a ways. We are good friends with Fran Severn, who is one of those fan fiction authors, and you had done a cover way back in the day, and so you've been doing this, and I think it's safe to say that you are a Battlestar Galactica fan. You're not
Oh
just an
yeah,
accomplished artist; you're a fan.
of
So,
course.
Tally of the Souls, man. We've covered some of the fan fiction. We've done, we've been on the air now, quickly approaching our fourth season. We're finishing up our third season here now, and this is what we do. We'll tackle some of this stuff. Uh, what, if anything, did you find out about when it came to the Second Coming, the DeSanto almost show that was going to bridge the gap between the original and then what ended up happening, coming out, the reimagined? Were you at all, in the loop?
Not really. I would, you'd hear. Uh, I really only knew just kind of what everyone was hearing on the internet, but it just kept changing, and it seemed like, um, one day it seemed like Richard Hatch was kind of in charge of everything, and then it went somewhere else, and it was just everything was kind of in disarray. So I was um, following it, but just
from
until anything was concrete, trying
from
not
a
to get
distance?
too excited.
Yeah, just like all of us, of course, of course.
Hmm.
Uh, so you've done in our book, right? There is a triumvirate to work with, and of course, Battlestar is one of them. The other one that's got to be on the top of the list, and you'd be foolish not to say so, is Star Wars. I mean, you've
Hmm.
done some really cool Star Wars work as well. So what's it like working for them? I mean, that's like it's a beast. What's that about?
Gosh, yeah, it's crazy. As a kid, I was just such a sci-fi nut for all of it. I mean, obviously Star Wars was so big, but also Battlestar Galactica was cool because there were new episodes every week, or at least during the seasons that it was on. Um, Buck Rogers was cool. I was into anything that was sci-fi and action, and especially robots. Just so into it. And I don't know if
Hear
anyone's
that?
ever.
Robots. Cylons rule. See?
Oh
Cylons are the
yeah.
best.
I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this. It's kind of hard to see in the photo, but there's such a great story. It's in the back of the prelude, and there's an image right here. I'm going the wrong way. There's an image right here that is so hard to see, and it's hard for me to see if I'm holding it right. But
Hang on, I can pull it up on the overhead cam.
there we go. What this is, when I was 7 years old, I discovered that with a bar of soap, you could draw on a mirror, or you could write a message or something. So when my mom ran to the grocery store, I thought I would surprise my mom with a gift. I drew an epic Battlestar Galactica image in the bathroom mirror.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool.
And and it's so funny because I was so proud of it, and I got in trouble, but my mom couldn't help but take a photo of me and my my handiwork before before I did
That's
that.
awesome.
Little did my mom know that this image of me and my Battlestar Galactica masterpiece would end up in the back of a published Battlestar Galactica comic book.
That is so cool.
That's one of my career highlights.
Matt, favorite character from Battlestar Galactica?
Gosh, character story wise, I mean, Starbuck probably. I'm
Cool.
sure that's probably what everyone says, but I also,
Count Ebly.
man, I remember the action figures. I loved the Daggett, you know,
Yeah.
Boxy, the Cylons, obviously. I loved it all. I was so into it. It was such a fun time to be a kid, you know, and to be
Oh,
into
heck
that
yeah.
stuff.
Mediocre Modeler, who was our prop master for the Stranded Warrior on our fan film, he's got his own show, and he wants to know, who's your favorite robot?
There's your Daggett.
Yeah. Gosh, my favorite robot is probably R2-D2, but I also really liked Twiggy, but if I had to name one, it might be Vincent from the Black Hole.
Ooh,
Heck
okay.
yeah.
I really like the idea of a floating robot. I thought was just the coolest thing.
Very cool, absolutely. We have Baz Builds from Down Under. He's on with us live now. Baz, welcome to the show. He's got his own. He's actually building his own Mark II 1-to-1 scale Viper. So
wow!
He's
it's awesome. You have to check it out.
It's incredible. He's doing it
it's
all
unbelievable.
on yeah, and he's a knife maker, and he bladesmith, and amongst the many things that he does. If you haven't checked it out, you will get a kick out of.
Yeah, Builds by Baz. Yeah,
So he's with us.
He's
online.
getting close to finishing it though. I saw him on Facebook
cool.
the other day. He's now in the fiberglassing process. So.
Oh yeah. So Matt, how do you get into the state of frame of mind, right? How do you start working on a project? Like somebody, I know that, like I was saying, you do, I guess one of the other third big one, is Marvel or DC, depending on who you might say, but you know, like any of those you've worked, I believe, I know Marvel, I don't know if you've done any DC, but working on for them is got to be something. What's it like doing that?
It's incredible. Sometimes I most of the projects I've been fortunate enough to work on are things that I'm really into, and then there are some things that if I'm not into it as much, just because I've kind of been blessed to be able to kind of pick and choose. If it's something that's not as interesting to me, I usually pass on it, because then it becomes work. And I think also, if my heart isn't into it, I think that'll show through in the work if it's a property that I'm just not really a fan of. So usually I go for the gigs that I know I'll enjoy, or if I get offered something that I think is cool, then I'm all in it to win it. But yeah, it's a dream come true, and it's I never would have believed as a kid that I would be working on some of these properties for real.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
And what about the working with Lucasfilm? How meticulous are they? Like, do they control like every stroke that you put on paper?
Not as much. It's gotten a little bit more with Disney. It's gotten a little bit, maybe a little bit more difficult. But pre-Disney, they were actually some of the coolest cats in the biz, and it was neat because a lot of the people that were working at Lucasfilm were fans that grew up with the saga like we did. So it was really cool. There was kind of an infectious hype to be working with people that also were fans and grew up with the sacred saga, where now it gets a little I can't complain about Disney too much because there's some really cool things happening, but because it's bigger and it's more of a corporate atmosphere, there's a lot of people making decisions that aren't, you can just tell they're not even into Star Wars. They're making either the wrong decisions for the right reasons or the right decisions for the wrong reasons. Or I guess they're making the wrong decisions for the wrong reasons is the worst.
True.
So,
it's true.
Yeah.
So what all right, so we got a really good question. I'm gonna pop this up first from Mediocre Modeler. He says, what project did you want to work on but didn't get the opportunity to yet?
One thing that I never got to do that I tried for a long time that I never got to do for Star Wars, I've gotten to work for almost every single licensee that there is. So I've illustrated everything from, the T-shirts that you see at Kohl's to McDonald's placemats, that people get ketchup on and they crumple up and throw away. So I've gotten to illustrate Star Wars for almost everything at least once. The one nut I was never able to crack is Star Wars for comic books. And I've illustrated tons of covers for a lot of the other comic book studios and also interior pages. I've done a number of comic books, and I've always wanted to do a fully painted Star Wars comic book. And I've done sample pages, and I had become friends with the editors there, but I just for whatever reason, I kept getting a runaround, and that was one nut that I was never able to crack. And comics don't really pay a whole lot, but just as a fan, it was just something that I really wanted to do, and I thought that fans would really kind of be into that. But that was an opportunity that has not yet come my way, but maybe. I haven't tried since it's been at Marvel, but who knows? Maybe somewhere in there, I'll get the opportunity to do that with one of my first loves.
Nice.
Comic books,
Sure. What about so I know I did find some of your Marvel stuff, which is incredible, and you've done other, some of the other comic books as well. You've illustrated, you've done covers and the like. Have you done any DC stuff? I wasn't able to really catch on any of that.
I've done some stuff for Vertigo.
Okay.
And but not. I'm trying to think if I've done actual DC. I may have done some trading cards. Mostly Vertigo
Wow.
stuff.
And then the question that I have to ask is, again, I looked through a lot of your stuff, and we're personally familiar with mostly your Battlestar work, which is closest to our hearts. But what about Star Trek, Matt?
I have done. Star Trek is something though that I like, but I'm not a super fan. So there's a lot of things that I have.
Somebody else.
that I've kind of passed on. Star Trek is cool, but it's just a different breed. It's a different kind of sci-fi, and it's not that I don't think it's cool. It is cool, but it doesn't spark my imagination as much as something like Star Wars or Battlestar. I have done a number of prints for Star Trek, and I've also illustrated some toy packaging for Star Trek as well.
Very cool. So yeah, so the big trifecta of Star Wars, Star Trek, and Battlestar back pocket. Awesome.
Yeah.
And Indiana Jones, and he's got
Exactly. Fair amount of Indiana Jones.
So what's your take on the new movie?
I was excited about it until reading some of the reviews don't sound too promising. But it's tough. A lot of those early reviews are from the Cannes Film Festival, and they're just, usually those kind of, what are they, not critique, what's the critiques? My gosh, I can't think of the word. What's the word? The people the critics. There we go.
Critics, yeah.
The critics that would be at something like Cannes Film Festival, they're probably not there to see a movie like Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
So take that with a grain of salt. And so obviously I'm excited to see it. And even if it's not even if it's the worst Indiana Jones movie, it's a new Indiana Jones movie with Harrison Ford.
Yep.
Like, it's going to be fun. That's going to be, it's going to be great. So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. Scott Good, thanks for joining us live on the broadcast. John Van Gostein's with us, of course. And like I said, guys, as you pop up, I'm going to try to make sure I mention you as always. You have to just, put something up, and I am monitoring. I'm trying to monitor both YouTube and our Facebook at the same time. But no, Matt, it's so cool. So in terms of just, circling back to Battlestar, you've done it for so long. Is there like that book cover? So I know I saw the full layout you had on Instagram. You put it up like I think in 2021, and it's so cool. It's got the Cylons on the bottom, and then you got a planet that's kind of like blowing up or exploding.
The first thing it's funny that Pete, the first thing you mentioned was the Cylons. So
okay, that wasn't for you. That was not for you. I'm just speaking with the artist. All right, so calm down. However,
he likes robots too, so we're good.
Yes, he does.
We're soulmates.
That's okay, of course. But so Matt, any of that stuff floating around? Are you able to could you do prints with any of that, or is that proprietary now? Do you do conventions?
Yeah, I do conventions. I haven't been doing as many conventions as I used to because of the big project that I've been working on, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But things like prints for something that's an intellectual property like Star Wars that's owned by Disney, or Battlestar Galactica, obviously owned by Universal. That isn't something. I know there are a lot of artists that just kind of make prints of whatever they feel like, and they sell them at shows, and they put them on Etsy and stuff. And it's run so rampant that a lot of the bigger studios that it's just kind of exploded. It's to the point where there's nothing they can do about it. But as an artist that gets still hired by these companies, I as much as I would make a killing just going to shows, if I just randomly painted a Boba Fett, don't even go to Disney and ask for permission, and just to take everything, run cheap prints and, sell them for $50 a pop and then just pocket everything. As much as that would be great, I kind of pride myself on just doing the official work. And I think it helps just keep my name in a, just a little bit more professional. And a lot of the studios know when they hire me, they know they can trust me and that I'm a straight shooter when it comes to stuff like that. But it's also a shame because there are probably people that would like a print of this, or a giant poster. That would be pretty cool.
100%.
But there's just so much, especially with Universal, there's just so much, I don't even know if it's red tape, but there's just so many people you have to go through with marketing. And although Chris Scalf, who did a really good run on the Battlestar Galactica comic books, my understanding from him in talking to him was that he just reached out to Universal. He made a couple phone calls. No one was doing Battlestar Galactica comic books at the time. And even though Universal wasn't really interested in pursuing more Battlestar Galactica, the way they saw it, it was money coming in. Even if it wouldn't be a lot, for them to say no would be no money coming in. So, and in some ways it was a way to kind of test the market and see if there was interest in bringing Battlestar Galactica back. So from what I understand, it was actually pretty easy for him to get Battlestar Galactica up and running and bringing it back to life with comic books, which is amazing.
Cool. Oh, it sure is. So our friend Baz from Down Under says, doesn't matter how many people are doing the wrong thing. Don't cave in. Keep doing the right thing. So he's in your moral corner. So nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. Listen, Matt, it's you have respectability, and what came to mind immediately when you were saying that was Alex Ross. Right? He built his name up into a franchise. It's totally respectable. It's all on the up and up, and whatever he's now touching has his name or his artwork on is it commands a certain, there's a certain premium that comes with that. And that's what you got to do, right? Nothing wrong with that. We just love your work, though. We love your work. I mean, all of it. I mean, the Star Wars stuff is great, but we talked a little bit before we came on the air, and, we have a special love for Galactica, and this show is here, and all our fans and everybody that follow this, it really came out of Battlestar Galactica. We wouldn't be doing this. So that's why we kind of circle back to always talk about Galactica, and we're really happy to have you. And is there anything in your archive that you would love to share with the fans that haven't seen that was Galactica related?
Gosh, something that's a little bit more of a deep cut that I did in this. You brought up this. This was just a gallery book that I did a wraparound cover for.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the cool pieces that I did in here, somewhere here we go. I gave a little love to Bojay.
Yeah, Jack Stauffer. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. That is so cool. Yep.
He's not Jack doing it. Jack would love that.
Sign those. Yeah. When he was going to cons, that was one of he'd have some of those prints with him, and he'd always sign those, and he would talk about you. He would actually talk about, I met him, and he would bring up your name whenever he'd, like if you asked about that print, he would actually mention your name. He'd drop your name.
Yeah. Yeah, he may have even had like 8x10s of it or something like that were printed or something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Good guy.
And while we're talking about that, don't forget we can mention the GoFundMe for him for.
Yes, unfortunately, Jack had to have his one of his legs amputated, and he had an accident, and it didn't heal well, and so he ended up. So now he's recovering now, and so there's been a fund for helping him get the proper care, the extra care that he needs with something like losing your leg is not a simple thing, but. So that's going on. That's still out there, guys. So if whoever wants to support, please look up Jack Stauffer, and you'll find we'll put up the link. So look for the link below. We'll have that set up for Jack Stauffer to continue helping him out. And Matt, where are you headed now? What's your next? I mean, you said you have a big project. What can you tell us about?
So the big thing that I have been working on for the last 13 years, ever since I was a little kid, inspired by, of course, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, all the things. A lot of people think that the dream was always to work for George Lucas. And while that has been amazing, it's been awesome, but the dream hasn't been just to work for George Lucas. The dream it's been to become George Lucas. And I don't mean the big, business mogul or anything like that, but the goal, the dream was always to create my own science fiction epic project, and that is a movie trilogy called Aladdin 3477. And it is a trilogy of films. We actually have already finished filming all 3 movies. It took us 5 years. There was like 4 or 5 years of pre-production. It took us 5 years just to film all 3 movies. We finished filming 4 years ago, and since then it's been editing, sound, visual effects. The first movie hopefully is going to come out later this year. The movie trailer is out, and it's had 2.1 million views so far, and super exciting. There was a Kickstarter that did really well earlier this year, and there's like 4 swag boxes that come throughout the year. And I'm so excited because this is one of the items that I just got my hands on this. This is one of the items in the first swag box. And I don't know if you remember the official collector's edition books for like Empire Strikes Back and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. They had one for Gremlins and Goonies and all that stuff. They still make these for some of the Marvel movies and the Star Wars films, but this is it's over 100 pages, and it's just chock filled with characters and robots and starships and weapons, behind the scenes, all kinds of cool stuff. Making these films, it's kind of my throwback to practical effects. It's funny, a lot of times people will see, when they see the footage, they'll ask the main robot sidekick of Aladdin. It's essentially the story of Aladdin, but it's set 1,500 years in the future. And the sidekick robot Fidji, a lot of times people will ask, man, the CGI is so good. Who does your CGI? And the answer is no one. It's real. It's a puppet. It's a mechanical puppet, and it floats around. Again, my favorite robot, Vincent from the Black Hole. So it floats around. So there's a little bit of green screen work if you ever see it full body, but otherwise, Aladdin is interacting with a real physical thing. And I made probably over 50 robots that I kit bashed for this trilogy. And not all of them move and work. There's a bunch that are just in the background, and a lot of them got repurposed for different scenes and different like marketplaces and stuff. But a lot of them, the eyes would light up, and their heads would turn, and their arms could move sometimes, and just had a blast putting this together, making my own epic science fiction action trilogy.
So Matt, who's doing the cards?
The trading cards?
Yeah.
There's some promo cards that I actually did myself, and those were actually made. We were about a year and a half into filming, and I actually made those kind of just for cast and crew. Just to kind of keep people going, because normally when you make an independent movie, it only takes a month of filming, and if you're making even a Hollywood movie, it might be a month or two. If you're doing something big like a Marvel movie or a Star Wars movie, it might be like 4 or 5, maybe 6 months at the most. But this was 5 years of filming, so I was doing anything I could to kind of keep people excited and my actors and crew from not dropping off the face of the planet, Everyone was great. Everyone was fantastic. But so those cards I made kind of as a fun thing for cast and crew, but those are also some of the Kickstarter rewards that people will be getting in their swag boxes.
Cool. So then the hard question, Matt, is what about distribution?
Great question. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, and So that's kind of the big question mark. We had the Kickstarter. There's a lot of interest. There are some smaller companies that have reached out that are interested in distributing the films, but I need to kind of aim for the top. And if that doesn't work, well, what's under that? And what's under that? And, we'll see what sticks. So the big question mark is film festivals, film markets, getting screeners to the actual studios. And then we'll see what sticks. Hopefully something cool. For sure, it'll be, you'll be able to eventually see it on Amazon Prime and iTunes and things like that. But where you'll see it beyond that, for sure, there will be a Blu-ray, and there will be a limited theatrical run for sure in the Detroit area. But I'm hopeful at the very least there might be a mini tour where we kind of go from city to city and show the film in kind of a theater setting, but like the larger venues, like when bands come to town, like not arenas, but like the smaller theaters where they still can show a film. So we would like to perhaps do a tour and tour college campuses during the day, and then do the theatrical screenings at night. And we've just been building our fan base, and we're small potatoes, but it'd be cool if we develop a cult following, and it's definitely got the spirit. The feel of it is kind of like Indiana Jones films, but it's definitely science fiction, and it's the old school science fiction with practical effects and robots and very little CGI. And if there is CGI, you probably wouldn't know what it is. We don't use CGI for the special effects or the robots. We use CGI if we ever needed to fix something. So for like wire removal, or if there's a weird pole that was in the way that we needed to remove. So things like that, things that people wouldn't even be looking for.
Okay, so then the question begs, how far into the release are you? So are you going to do one at a time, or is it all three, or how does that play?
Yeah, it's definitely one at a time. I do have rough cuts for the second and third film, but there's still a lot of visual effects and sound and everything that needs to be complete for those. So right now the focus is just on the first film, and whether the distribution deal will be for all three movies or just one. And then whoever I sign with, maybe they'll wait to see, how that plays out before they decide if they want, or how long they want to own the rights to the first film. There's so many different ways that it can play out. So a lot of that is in limbo at the moment, but it's all happening really soon. So it's, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Well,
so
Matt,
we're
very excited as well. As a matter of fact, here on the air, we have access to a theater. It's a small theater. It's under 200 with a stage. It's a modern place. It's in Queens, New York, and we know the director of that theater, and so we can vouch that when you're ready, you have a place to screen. It's a smaller venue for like a small, a screening that you want to do, more like a private screening, because it's under 200 people, around 150 or so.
Great, though.
We have a location for you, Matt, and we'll put it out here in front of everyone. Let you know that we got your back. So you come to New York City, you want to do it, we can help you out with that, because I think it's so cool, man. This is really what we're all about. So yeah.
All right, Queens, I'm counting on you.
Oh well,
sure.
I'm telling you, we got your back. We can make that happen. That's an easy one. This is so cool, man.
I want to talk about Hollywood is Dead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, why not? But Matt, what did you play in terms of, other than producing and I guess executive producing? But
you wrote it.
You wrote it and you directed.
Mm-hmm. I wrote it. I directed it. I edited it.
Wow.
Holy cow.
I did. And, I had a lot of help from mostly family and friends, but I had some hired guns as well. And it's a very it's a very small, intimate project, but we all treated it as if it was the next Star Wars. We really put a lot into it, and I think people are going to be surprised when they see it, when they see some of the action sequences. We got some really good professional martial artists in on it, so there's some really good like fight scenes and chase scenes, and it's real exciting. I think people are going to dig it for sure.
Cool. Well, if you're ready, and when you're ready, which is probably sooner than later, we hope, please keep us in mind. We would love to have you come back. And if you have anybody else, like your AD or anybody else on your staff that wants to come and elaborate more on it, we'd love to have you and help you promote it.
Awesome. Thank you.
See, that's the spirit of Battlestar Galactica, Matt. That's
I know,
it's
right?
a fan thing, yeah. It
lives on. Yeah.
You have to drive. So Hollywood is dead.
It's
fantastic.
It's now almost in our grasp. We're almost there.
It's fantastic.
Chris,
Go ahead.
Sorry, Chris.
Let me show you.
Matt.
Yeah, no. That what that was is back in, gosh, this would have been 2007 maybe, something like that. Star Wars was putting out its first horror novel, and I think it might have been called Death Troopers or Shadow Troopers or something like that.
Yeah.
And Lucasfilm contacted me. They actually contacted a few artists, and they wanted us. It was around Halloween time, I think, is when the book was released, and they contacted us. They wanted us to do like Halloween theme, like a poster, a Star Wars poster, and it was just something online. It wasn't meant to be printed or anything like that. And they specifically wanted me to recreate a Star Wars movie poster, but they wanted me to zombify it.
Yeah.
And so once I got the gig, I was like, man, I can't decide which one to do. And at this point, there was only the first 6 movies. And I was like, all 6 of them would be really fun to zombify. So I reached out to Lucasfilm and I said, can I just do all 6? And they were like, sure. So I did all 6, and it went viral. It was covered on G4 TV, and it was on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, and it was this big thing. Well, Lucasfilm let me know, because I didn't call it Star Wars Zombies or use the Star Wars logo, and all the names were changed to protect the innocent, so they're all if you like read the credits, all of the actor names and everything have been it's parody, it's satire. So Lucasfilm kind of let me know, you can kind of do with this whatever you want. So I released the first 6 as prints, and everyone just loved it. Everyone at Lucasfilm loved it. People were just filling up my inbox. When are we going to see Zombie Indiana Jones and Zombie E.T. and everything else? So I kind of went on this spree of reimagining all of the classic Hollywood posters, but zombifying them. And what was great for me, I'm a huge classic illustrated movie poster guy, obviously inspired by artists like Drew Struzan, John Alvin, Bob Peake, all of the great illustrators of the classic movie posters. So I really got to study their work with a fine-tooth comb. It was like an education for me. It was really, really great. And then the part that was kind of a what do they call it? I can't think of the term, but it was not selfish, but it was a guilty pleasure. There we go. The guilty pleasure is ripping everything apart and making it bloody and gory and everything, and zombifying everything. It's to the point now where I'm pretty zombied out, so I still get lots of emails that are like, when are you going to do the new Star Wars trilogy? And what about, the new Marvel movies and everything? And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So it was all collected into a giant coffee table art book called Hollywood is Dead. I'm sure at some point I will return to it and give a fresh update. I actually had probably still 100, because I had to come up with clever titles for everything. So Toy Story was Toy Gory. The Empire Strikes Back was The Living Dead Strike Back.
Wow.
Breakfast at Tiffany's was Breakfast is Tiffany. So I had to kind of change all the names, and I had another 100 ideas written down that they all take a lot of time. So I never got to those yet, but one day I'll get back to it.
Wow.
I need to do one for Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, I kind of thought you were going to say that you had one there, but
No.
so cool.
I
this
should.
is so. Yeah, absolutely. We have your website up, which is something that we want to bring up. So this is direct sales. Do you autograph these upon request?
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, if you ever order anything, just shoot me an email. Hey, I just ordered the whatever it is that you ordered, and I'd love to have it autographed. I don't charge anything extra for that. I'm happy to do it. One of the reasons I don't do it automatically is sometimes people don't want a giant signature. Not that I do it giant across the whole thing, but sometimes people don't want the signature. They feel like it's well, I'll give you an example that I totally understand. So the Breakfast at Tiffany's zombified poster that I have on there, it's a full-size movie poster, right? And everyone's got the Breakfast at Tiffany's movie poster framed in their living room. So it's a really great prank when someone has you over and they go out to pick up pizza. It's a great prank to take down the frame, take out the real movie poster, put in the Hollywood is Dead version, hang it back up, and see how long it takes for them to notice, wait a minute, something's not right here, So if there's a little Sharpie signature at the bottom, their eyes will go right to that because they'll know that's like this new thing that wasn't on their original poster. So I totally get why.
Gotcha.
Sometimes people will contact me and say, no disrespect, but please don't sign this,
Oh, boy. Well, I think that that Battlestar Galactica, the Eve of Destruction, since you have some, I think that would definitely be something that, Chris and I would welcome your signature on. And then I believe you also have one of your sketchbooks that has some of that great Galactica artwork sprinkled in amongst all the other great stuff that
I believe it does.
We're going to we definitely, Chris and I, we were talking about this actually a couple days ago, so we are going to pull the trigger and get some of those as well. So we'll just probably get that all in one shot. Oh yeah, Star Wars Tales for the Empire, fantastic. I have the paperback right up here on my shelf. That's a fantastic book. What a cover though. What a cover. So yeah, so guys, this is Matt Bush's site. So feel free to stop on and take a quick look at what he's got up there, because I can see some really cool things, and you get it directly from him. And for those of us that like to have our stuff autographed, Matt, you're kind enough to say that you would, which is very, very cool. There are a lot of artists, maybe not on your caliber, that won't sign anything, even though it's on their own website. I've had run-ins with these guys. I'm like, they do great work. Again, not professionally, not on your level, but that doesn't mean that they're not good in what they do. And they won't even sign it. It's like, what are you kidding me, man? What is it? I asked you to please sign the poster that you made. It's your, it's and they're like, oh no, I don't, I don't sign my stuff. But if you bring it to a show, I'll sign it. Really, dude? I bought it directly from you. So thank you for doing it. That was the point of bringing that up, was to thank you for doing that. So some of the guys and some of our fans are jumping on 501st exclusive card. Yes, you have your own. You're an honorary member of the 501.
I am an honorary member, and a kind of an interesting thing about that is I was one of the first artists. I was one of the first people inducted. It was a very small list at the time that I was an honorary member. But one of the interesting things about it was I had to choose my own TK number. I actually have my own armor. So I needed a 4-digit number, and I couldn't think of a good number. So because my name is Matt, I just took the 4 letters of my name, MATT, and I turned all the letters sideways. So if you have a big imagination, an M sideways kind of looks like a 3, an A looks like a 4, and T's kind of look like 7s. So my TK number, I actually have it tattooed on my arm right here. It's TK 3477.
Nice.
So when I was writing Aladdin 3477, I knew it was going to take place during a year. And I was really inspired by the comic book Spider-Man 2099 when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I knew I wanted it to be Aladdin and then a year. And so I just needed a 4-digit year. So I just started calling it Aladdin 3477 kind of as a joke, thinking full well that of course I'm going to change it. I'm not actually going to have it be that. But every time after I wrote the script, every time I tried to come up with a new year, it was like Aladdin 2386. And it just didn't have the same ring to it. So it stayed Aladdin 3477, which is my TK number. And another interesting thing about that is that means that the year this takes place in the future, it'll be the 1500th anniversary of Star Wars.
Whoa.
And there actually is a really unique nod to that in the first film that people are going to love. It's
wow.
It's comical, but it's kind of neat to see how 1,500 years from now, how will people be celebrating the huge anniversary of Star Wars?
Absolutely.
Hey, Pete, I'm surprised you didn't mention Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, well,
Pete's a big Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah, so that was another thing, that the 25th anniversary Empire Strikes Back poster I thought was killer, and like I said, I knew that you'd done the Hulk and you'd worked on the Marvel, but the Planet of the Apes, talk about exclusive cards, man. Those are really cool. What was that like?
Gosh, it was really cool. It was such an awesome throwback to my childhood. And gosh, I remember, it's so funny because like a lot of these properties, they have so many cool toys today. But when we were growing up, we had toys that were kind of weird that didn't really make sense. So do you remember they had them for Planet of the Apes and even for Star Wars? But remember those vans? Like, didn't they have vans where you would like just pull this plastic thing out of it and let it go?
Yeah.
Like, what was that all? It actually has. You don't see those in the Planet of the Apes. You don't see those in Star Wars. But why not a land speeder? Like that, I would understand. Yeah. You pull the thing, you let the land speeder. But why, like a van that's got Star Wars painted on the side? Like, it makes no sense. But when we were kids, we didn't care. We loved it. We were into it.
Played the street, right? Got dirty, and it was totally different world. Absolutely. I don't know. Some of these kids.
Evel Knievel has done some wonderful things in my world. We would wind the Evel Knievel up and let him go. He'd go off the side of the house, the roof, everything.
Oh, yeah. And luckily he was indestructible too. Yes. So that was something.
It's so funny. I see all the kids today. They all have their own like Jeep that they can sit in and it drives and they can go pretty fast and stuff. But I remember when I was a kid, the new technology that was so amazing was you could buy that plastic thing for your bike where it had a box right here and you would just go like that and it had the fake
yes,
kind of sounded like a motorcycle. It didn't actually make your bike go faster or anything, and it wasn't even a real sound, but like That's the kind of stuff that but that was amazing.
Yeah.
It's like candy cigarettes too, you know?
Yeah.
I got two comments, Matt, very important that I got to bring up. One of them is I mentioned her name earlier, Fran Severn. So delighted that you illustrated the covers of my novels. Thank you very much. And also there was a comment from Paul Rotter, and he's also known as Commander Kane. He's one of the founders of the Colonial Warriors site on Facebook and others. He's an admin on a lot. He goes to all the cons, very well known. You may have even run into him in the past. And he wants to know if there's a chance there would be a 45 Yaren Battlestar Galactica poster that you would consider doing.
I'd be all about it. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? I would love to do that.
That's this year, by the way.
Yeah. Gosh, that's the kind of thing. Normally, a studio would reach out to me for something like that. But right now, I don't know who has the rights to do Battlestar Galactica posters based on the original show or limited edition art prints. And if there isn't a company, I don't know who at Universal to get in touch with, because I would love to do it myself, and I would administer everything and make sure that the royalties go to the right place and stuff. But I have no idea. That stuff changes all the time. I knew who was doing it in the 90s, but I don't know who's doing it now. I wouldn't even know where to start with something like that. So
funny thing is, I don't even think they know.
Yeah, they probably don't. But Chris Skelf said it was actually pretty easy. He did have to make a couple phone calls, and he had to follow up on a couple things, but he said it wasn't as hard as he imagined it would be, and he got through and did some great comic books, comic book work that during a time when we didn't have a lot, and then suddenly we had some new Battlestar Galactica material to chew on, which was great.
Oh, absolutely. Look, if Hallmark, who they're coming out with a Battlestar, they're coming out with Battlestar Galactica for this Christmas.
Yeah, this Christmas's ornament is Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's coming. It's official. It's happening. If they could get that, it's somebody somewhere has
got the information.
Yeah.
It exists.
They're like, we got to make money off this somehow, because it doesn't look like we're going to do a new one anytime soon.
No movie. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's happening, unfortunately. But like you said, comic books do have a life. There is a comic book life, which is at least a good thing.
The BSG versus BSG was just 3 years ago.
And J.J. Miller, he did the work for what was it, a couple of years ago?
Yeah,
right.
That was BSG versus BSG. Yeah,
BSG. Yeah. So it's out there. Man, that would be. I wonder if we don't, Matt. We don't even have an address to write. I guess if we just wrote the Universal, maybe just if we flooded them with letters.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, just say, well, we want Matt Bush to do the poster. Period. Maybe that couldn't hurt. That's for sure.
Yeah. It'd be great. I don't know what you guys thought of. Did you see the new Lost in Space that Netflix did?
Yes, it's fantastic.
What did you guys think of that?
Oh, that was great. I mean, a lot of people will, a lot of people get upset and they say, "Oh, that's not the original. That's not what it is." It's the same thing with the Battlestar thing. It was like, that's not the original, but you don't understand. It's a continuation of the story. It's a continuation of the fandom. It reinvigorates even if you don't like it, it reinvigorates the old one. It reinvigorates the fandom. It's your fandom starts to die until something happens, and then suddenly it can take off again. And that's what you need to do. You need to reinvigorate the fandoms, the fans out there. Yeah,
absolutely.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I would love to. Oh my gosh, I'd love to see Netflix get a hold of Battlestar Galactica and see what.
Oh man!
What they would do for that.
That'd be
amazing.
Cool. Yeah, the latest information we've had on the Battlestar Galactica thing was there is the guy who did iRobot is Sam Esmail has the con for a remake of the 2004 version of Battlestar Galactica. And it seems to be dead. It's there. They still own it. They still say they're working on it or they're thinking it, but it's really in hold. And then of course, Kinsberg is got the helm for a Battlestar Galactica movie based on the original Battlestar Galactica, which once again, it's in development hell because it's not going anywhere. Nobody's moving on anything. Because it just doesn't seem to be something the fandom is not stirred up enough to create something, or for them to, they look at it and say, hey, can we make money off this? That's their whole, it's not, hey, can we excite the fans again? No, that's not what they're all about. They are looking at it as, and of course it's a business. So it is. I'm not saying anything that anybody doesn't know, but it's a business. How much money can I make off this? How many fans are out there that would go see this? And if it's an older franchise like Battlestar Galactica, how much money? If I'm going to invest millions of dollars in this thing, what's my return on investment? That's what they're concerned about.
It's look at Veronica Mars.
Yes.
Veronica Mars.
Well, that was crowdfunded.
The fans raised $1.5 million, and they made their movie, and they got all the old stars, and they kind of did a really good movie, and it came back for a little while, right? The series came back, and that was all crowdfunded. So that's one example of look at your work, right? So things can be done. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes.
It's just how far is this going to go, and can we revitalize it or keep it going long enough? I hope so, but it's important to also work on original stuff like yours, and then from there maybe circle back to what you love, right? So you have a trilogy that's successful, and then somebody might say, hey Matt, what else would you like to do? And you came out with, well, you know what if we revisited a franchise? I got some ideas, and maybe and you do your own, and something like that could always happen. So I don't know, there's hope, but we'd love to have you back, Matt. We definitely would like to have you back.
And don't forget the Queen's offer as much, and that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna hold you guys to that. At some point, we'll do it for sure. I would love that.
That'd be great.
It's a green light. We have access. We're lucky enough that we are plugged into that. So when you're ready, you just give us a heads up, and we'll set it all up.
Or if you want to come back on the program, and hey, we're whatever you want to do in regards to advertisement of Aladdin 3477. Let us know. We can have you come back on, and we'd love to have you back on. I mean, it reinvigorates fans. It creates a new universe. So we love that. That's create a new fandom, create a new universe, write a new story, think of a new thing that's out there that's not right now. So that's important to the fandoms, to create something new and exciting and utilize your talents that you have now, as not as only as an artist, but as a script writer, as a director, as somebody who is tuned into that piece, and get that to go out there. That's so exciting that it's not somebody's stuffed shirt in the back room somewhere who really just wants to make money. It's somebody who is a fan, it's somebody who has a dream. Those are the things that the passion pieces are so important that I don't think we see enough of that.
Yep.
Matt, here's to you.
So here's to you, sir.
Thank you for doing what you do.
Fans for the fleet.
We're looking forward to the next one. That's it.
See, he's got the Cylon one. Yes. So thank you so much for coming on. And once again, please keep us in mind, and we'll have you back.
Yes, please, Matt.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I would love that.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Oh man, so cool, right? Chris. We say this. I don't think we could say this enough. There is a bit. It's night and day when we have a celebrity that comes on and is a fan.
Yeah, I mean, and we've always talked about that. We've met actors, and you talk to the actor, and it's like, yeah, it was a job. It's like, well, right. Really, you don't have the passion, you don't have the love for the franchise. Right, some do. I mean, yeah,
some do. But it's not that we don't respect that.
No,
we do.
I mean, there's still talent involved in acting.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's something different when you're dealing with someone who's got the passion because they're a fan. It's different, and there's a connection, and you know it right away. And Matt is definitely
there's passion, there's drive. Yeah.
And we want to be in on supporting his project.
Yeah,
and it sounds really cool.
It sounds really cool. I want to see what it is.
Yeah. So that would be really cool. So if like we said, we have access to the private screening at the theater, the center that
would be so cool.
We've actually filmed, and
that would be so cool.
It would be, and we would love to help support. So we're gonna be jumping on that website tonight. We're gonna be picking up some pieces for ourselves.
Definitely.
Hope you guys do the same. And Matt says, thank you guys again for having me on. The pleasure was ours, Matt. And open door for you. You come back or send anyone that worked on your film that you want to come over and talk to us about, what it's like doing it or anything like that. Please do. Anything,
and then don't forget to IM us your address so we can send you a set of cards.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely send you a exclusive set of cards that we made as well for the Stranded Warrior. I think you'll get a kick out of those. And looking forward to meeting you. I know you don't do that many conventions, but
yeah, we got to find out. I forgot to ask you. Did you say what conventions his next one was? I forgot to look.
He's not doing too many of those. But let us know, please. We'd love to have a chance to meet you up front and get some of your work signed in person and do like a quick interview. It'd be really cool. So again, let's just let our production coordinator, John want to let him know that we thank you very much for taking care of business. And he's going to be coming on in a minute or two, but we just want to make sure that everybody knows that John is really making a difference here at IFB. Big team member and coordinating with our guests and getting the guests. John will be going to a convention in Philly. We'll let him talk about that himself. And we went. So John and I went to Trek, Long Island, and we got some interviews. And I also want to bring this up, Chris. I went to see Khan. You
went to see Khan. Is a whole different thing.
Spectacular. It's a musical, and I got to tell you, it was really good.
Was it?
It was. Oh my God! It was so funny.
Yeah, one of my favorites is Spam-A-Lot. So that I wonder if that ranks up there with Spam-A-Lot, which is the Monty Python.
This you would laugh out loud throughout the thing. You would like it. Trust me. It's you're like watching. You're like, what the heck are they doing on stage? And it's like, like the Spock character doing and it's like, oh my God, that is so funny. You just like, you're like, wow. And the actors that are doing this and their singing abilities, there's some dance pieces in it. It's quite creative. It's very inventive. I was really, really impressed. I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was great. I spoke to some of the producers. Hopefully they'll get a chance to get back with us. I know, Chris, you'd reached out to them.
Yep.
And hopefully we can get some of them on the show and we'll get to talk about this because this was definitely worth it. So if you guys are in New York City or you're coming into New York City, look this up.
When does it start and stop? I mean, I thought it was over.
We saw it just last week. So I don't know how much is left on the run. But I'll tell you, it's for the record. The musical runs 2 hours and 15 minutes, including the 15-minute intermission, and highly recommend if you wanted to. If you were visiting, go online and see if you can get tickets. It was really good, guys. It was very, very funny, very well done. So kudos to you guys. And in the meantime, I think, Chris, we have John 1.
Yes, we do.
This came in the mail. I got the non-sports update, and they have a whole bunch of the upcoming releases on some of the card series. And
so the new release on Battlestar Galactica is in there, right?
Marvel movie magic. There's more Marvel stuff coming out.
There's no Battlestar Galactica coming up with that?
Yeah, there is. It's called The Stranded Warrior. And so that's something that we're working on. And so you guys can take a quick peek inside this.
Someday we'll be in there with the Stranded Warrior cards, or they're worth $10,000 a piece.
Really hope so. But I was actually working on one of the cards, teaching myself how to do some of the layering that Chris does so well and easy. So I was doing that, working on the last 4 cards. So the series is going to be 15 cards altogether, starting with 0-0, going all the way. I guess now, Chris, it's going to be 14. Number 14 will be the last card. So there's 4 left.
Unless we do a special one, like, I want to do an embossed card for mine.
Right, so that would be the 15th. I don't know if it's an embossed, but I think the way you were going to make it, it's going to be like almost one of those like shiny or silver type of
something.
Glossy.
I thought it'd be
you can
kind
make
of
it
fun.
into a glossy. You could do it into a glossy card.
Yeah.
So it'll be that negative image, and it'll be a glossy one instead of a matte. It'll be harder to autograph, but it'll be really cool. That could be
do the back.
The 15th. Yeah.
I thought I'm not worried about autographing. I just wanted to look cool.
Oh, it'll look cool. I mean, just that image that you had, I thought was really cool. Our CG team, I was speaking to them today. Chuck, Chris, and Ken are 3 leads on that, and they're raring to go. And I went over.
I wish we were as well.
Oh my God! Yeah,
we hit a speed bump this week. So
we sure did. So
no, we hit more of a speed bump. We hit more of a concrete barrier this week.
Yeah. Well, luckily, everything we have, all the raw footage, is backed up in triplicate. All the work that we did in picking out, selecting, and labeling all of the work. The hard drive, brand new hard drive that Chris had gotten, it crashed, so all that's gone. So a full week's.
We lost a week for the work. So
yeah. So we were labeling everything, picking the best shots in every scene. We have, in some cases, we have 4 cameras that we're filming, and so you have to go through each one of those. So everything had to be rendered so that we could watch them and then actually pick the best ones and go through that and label each one and then put them in separate folders. We had done a lot. We were about halfway done.
Yeah, we were at least halfway done, and
and that's all gone. So we're gonna have.
It happens, but luckily we had backups. We know we've got backups in numerous places for all the footage. The raw footage was just
not a problem.
The sort was halfway done, so now we got to restart.
There's got to, once we're doing, and so the process is, the update is that once I guess the background, right, Chris, is that once that's done, then if there's got to be any rotoscoping or color adjusting on the scenes themselves.
Well, there would definitely be color adjusting because it's all raw footage. So
raw footage. So all of that has to be done, but this way you're not worried about working with all the material. The editor is going to be dealing specifically with the scenes that we
did 6 takes on something. Then what part of what take works best?
We went through almost the entire thing. We were focused exclusively on the acting and the dialogue, and then realized that one of the props was not supposed to be in that shot yet. So that was 2 takes of it, and they were substantial. So I was like, okay, no, that's no good. Yep. So all of those cameras and all those shots had to be eliminated, but that's where we're at. I don't know. In the meantime, moving forward, live and learn.
Yep.
John 1, I believe, is in the green room.
He is. Matter of fact,
Hey,
he's no longer
John,
in the
what's
room.
up?
He's here.
Yes.
How you guys doing?
Oop,
Good, John. What's up?
Not much. So that was a good interview, huh?
That was amazing.
Heck, oh my God, it was so cool. Oh yeah.
Wow,
so
what a talented
cool.
guy. I was looking at his cards and everything. I'll be ordering him some stuff when I get off.
Oh heck yeah.
We're gonna order the book for sure.
Yeah, we're getting books. We're gonna get the comic book as well, have it all autographed. That's so cool, man.
He's definitely an Imperial fan.
Oh yeah. And he's a gentleman too. I mean, and
he likes Cylons.
Yes, he does.
Robots.
His book is incredible. Just really cool. John, what do you got for us? I put together your deck, so I know the stuff, but it looks tremendous, man. You got some pretty good selections that you're going to bring up.
Yeah, we got some good stuff coming up. We have a new series debuting June 4th on TNT called The Lazarus Project. It's about a secret agency who goes back in time to try to thwart world-ending crises. It's the volcano's going to blow up or someone's going to set up a bomb. Let's go back in time and try to stop it. So it's something like that. So
it sounds like Minority Report.
It's an English series, so it looks pretty good. So that comes on the 4th on TNT. So some good actors, but we'll see. It looks pretty interesting. I don't know how many times they go back in time and stop things, but yeah, it's a new series. I'll watch it.
Okay.
So let's see. Well, this flight seems to have run its course. Manifest, the final season, will air on Netflix June 2nd.
Yeah, I didn't think they could do another one.
Yeah, I don't think. I guess we'll find out where they were all those 7 years, but. I try to get into it. I watch a couple episodes. I'm just like, I can't do it.
Me too.
So I'll just try to read about what happens at the end. See if my theories are right.
I agree, John.
It's like it's worse than the Lord of the Rings.
No, I agree.
Finally, yes. Well,
I want something else.
Throw myself into Mount Doom.
I give that one three Z's.
3 Z's. ZZZ. The new rating system. I like it.
Yeah, new rating system. Excellent.
And this animated series is on a comeback. It was on MTV over 20 years ago. It's and it was pretty funny. It's called Clone High. It's like an adult animated series. It's coming on HBO Max or the Max. The premise is an evil German scientist clones all the world leaders like JFK, Abraham Lincoln, Cleopatra, and he puts them all in high school.
Oh my.
There's some pretty funny elements in there. JFK is like, arrah. He's always lady going after ladies, and Abraham Lincoln's trying to stop him. It's pretty funny series. Gandhi's in it.
Oh no.
Yeah. Gandhi wouldn't be very, very socially accepted now, but 20 years ago it was funny. Wow. So hopefully he comes back. And Frida Kahlo will be in this one too. So it looks funny. So that's going to go on June 2nd, I think. No, June 1st. It came out today. So on Max. That's a new HBO Max series. They changed the name. So check that out. It's pretty funny. Let me know how you think about it. And the third and final season of Jack Ryan will start airing on Amazon on June 3rd. That looks pretty good. The series is all right.
It's been pretty good.
So
I liked it.
Cool. I'm watching a rainy day. That's good. And The Walking Dead just won't stay dead.
Oh no.
Walking Dead Dead City with Negan and Maggie will come on. They'll venture out from out west where they were, and they go to New York City. And they have to fight more than zombies, I guess, over there. I guess. See, they really got to fight for your life when zombies.
Not only do they have to find zombies, but if it's New York City, they got to find a parking spot.
And a pizza rat.
And a pizza place.
Yeah. Giant zombie rats are going after them.
I think we can come up with a whole new show. That sounds good.
And that comes out on AMC on June 18th. And everyone is looking forward to this. Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Second season will air on Paramount on June 15th. They already have, that's a picture right there. Bulma and, what's her name? The other girl on Mariner. I think Mariner.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mariner,
people on Lower Decks. And that's the two.
Yep. That's the crossover.
They actually voice them on the characters. Those are two the actors that voice the characters.
So
they'll probably do a quick cameo and say, okay, blah, blah, blah. And we're looking for Carol Kane. She's going to be the new engineer, I think. So I guess every year it's going to be the engineer's going to die off. Instead of the red shirts, the engineer will just die off. Get a new engineer.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty funny. But we'll see how it is. See how she does. And Amazon struck out with Lord of the Rings series. Now they're developing another popular arcade game, God of War. It's a series. It's a series of character Kratos who seeks revenge against the gods of Olympus for killing his family. So this has a lot of potential. It's really a fantasy film and it's really action. So the game is really good. So hopefully the series will be better. So we'll see.
Yeah.
That's in production now, and we'll keep you up to date. And the next new book is coming out June 6th, called Relentless Melt. It has a gothic vibe with H.P. Lovecraft meets Agatha Christie, set in 1900 Boston.
Oh.
So it's like two students investigating supernatural murders. One student's a female who's dressed as a guy trying to further education, and they try to figure out supernatural murders in Boston. So it looks pretty good. I kind of like the supernatural noir. So it looks pretty good. This is going to be out June 6th. And so I'll read it. Deadpool has a new comic series coming out on June 7th. Deadpool, the Thunder, and the Deadpool Blood Feud. To continue the feud with Thumper. If you read the comic, check it out. That's out June 7th. And I have a couple of fan expos. Philadelphia, June 24th. I'll be going June 2nd and 4th. I'll be going there with my nephew. My son will be coming to help me out, too. So we're going to go there the Saturday and check it out. Brooklyn Comic Con is in June 10th and the 11th. Awesome Con, you guys are going to the 16th and 18th in Washington, D.C. And Dover Comic Con, June 17th in Dover, Delaware. And make sure you check out Stephen King, The Boogeyman, and Flash coming out next week in theaters.
Cool.
Sweet.
That's it.
John, you're going to Dragon Con, too.
Yes, I am. I got my tickets. I'll be staying at a hotel a little while, but I can take the subway up to the convention center.
Cool. Oh, we're going to have a good time, man. It's going to be really, really cool. So, John, make
Dragon
sure
Con's going to be a party.
Oh, it is. Make sure you, you're going to go to the Philly Con, pictures and cards, whatever you can do. Do you? Because we went to Trek Long Island together, and it was really, really good experience. And I really appreciate everything you do. Chris and I appreciate everything you do for IFB. And just keep up the good work, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
I'll send you some pictures. Good night, guys.
Definitely.
All right, cool. Yeah, we're gonna have a great time. Dragon Con is just, we're gonna start setting up some meetups so we get together. And don't forget at Awesome Con, guys. If any of you go into Awesome Con, you gotta let us know. We have a table and a booth, actually, a table, it's a booth. And we have some of the actors, the cast from The Stranded Warrior, are visiting us at Awesome Con. They'll be there to sign pictures and their cards. We will be distributing the collector cards from The Stranded Warrior at Awesome Con. So if you come, one per person, first come, first serve. We're going to be doing interviews, and we'll be bringing people over.
Diana will actually have 8x10s out too.
Yes, Diana Durango is going to have 8x10s, which I have in my possession. So she'll be signing those.
And then we'll sacrifice her later on because she is a con virgin, so she's never been to a Comic-Con.
Yeah, Awesome Con is in Washington, D.C., and we've been there before. They've been very, very good to us. We're actually going to the after party on Saturday. So that'll be
interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays. So that's June 16th, 17th, and 18th. We will be at Awesome Con in Washington, D.C., and we have a booth. So stay tuned, and hopefully you'll come by and stop by the booth. We're going to be doing, of course, our interviews, bringing people over, and like I said, cast members from The Stranded Warrior will be visiting and giving out free autographs and photos, taking pictures with the fans at
the baseball cards.
And the baseball cards, the non-sports cards, but the CMOD's going to be at Awesome Con. The Colonial Ministry of Defense is going to be there, and they usually are
every year. So they've got a great little setup too. So I'm sure there'll be a classic Cylon running around as well.
Yes, they will. There will be classic representation at Awesome Con from our friends at CMOD. We're actually members of CMOD, Chris. I don't know if you remember, but we actually signed up. So we are members of CMOD. And so yeah, so they'll be coming over as well. We'll be going to them. It's going to be great. We're going to have a good time. So hope to see you guys there. And then as a matter of fact, for those of you that have been to New York Comic Con, there was an announcement that there's a pre-sale starting tomorrow. Make sure that you look at your email, because many of you probably already got your links sent out. So I'll be online tomorrow trying to purchase advance tickets for New York Comic Con.
At least it's not as cutthroat as San Diego Comic Con.
Well, it's up there.
It's up there, but it's not as cutthroat as.
Yeah. This year they're just, I don't know, it's everybody that had gotten early tickets last year were then given a link to get on for tomorrow. So that's cool. So
I gotta recheck that. I think I've got one somewhere. I gotta check my link.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if you do, because I'll be going on, and there's a limit on how many you can purchase of each type.
It's like four or two, something like that.
Two of each. Yeah. So I'll be up in the morning, trying to get tickets for New York Comic Con, which will be in October, I believe. If any of you know, put that up real quick.
I think it's October.
Yeah. But so guys, we're doing our part to keep fueling the fleet. The Stranded Warrior is coming along, and we're gonna have a trailer, very short trailer, soon. I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen overnight, but we will have something. At this point. Yeah, we're looking to put together
I would take the drive that is like 6 inches away from me and spike it onto the floor if I could, but I am going to try to return it and get my money back.
Yes, because it crashed, and it took the computer down with it.
Yeah, this afternoon it died too. So
yeah,
I had to unplug it from the PC because the PC was like, there's something wrong with this thing.
Yep, got these things happen, but that's okay. We have the footage.
Backups and everything else.
Yep, got the backups and all. So it's been it's been interesting, guys. With your support, we've come this far, and so we want to try to make give you guys a little bit this. We want you to see a little bit of how cool this stuff is. So not only the stills, but so our goal is the short term goal, Chris, would be to do like a 45-second teaser, just to have you guys see a little bit of what's what. And then make the rounds in that, and then of course we're working on perks. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let me.
By the way, John gave us the dates. It's the 12th to the 15th for NYCC. Ooh.
All right, so this is one of the perks.
Full screen that. The wrong one.
Oh yeah. Well, there you go. So this is one of the perk pictures that's going to be signed. And so that was a crew. This is one of the cast, and then we have another one that is going out as well. And this is going out as well as an extra, because our one of the supporting cast, Lieutenant Karina, was not there for the official photo taking. So those of you that get that perk will get an extra picture, and so those we just got in the mail, and so we're going to have those autographed by our cast and crew. And so we're working on getting the jackets and everything else together so that you guys will be getting your perks. So we're getting there slowly but surely. It's all coming together. I want to thank you guys for helping us get that into reality, making it a reality.
Yeah. So this week, I had some finds.
Yeah.
On Amazon and everything else. So
yeah. What'd you get?
Oh, let's roll over to the overhead and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'll be over there.
Okay, cool. Because you got some stuff. I went to con, and I ordered. So Chris and I, we got the bug. So we started searching out and looking for
check. Can you hear me?
Cards. Yes, we can.
Okay.
So we got some cards, being that we were in the whole card collecting mode, since we'd gone to the non-sports card show in outside of Philly, and we had a good time picking stuff up. I was really close to finishing up my Planet of the Apes TV series cards, and Dave Francoeur is helping me out with that. He got my number 33 that I need for me, and so Chris though was getting some stuff. What do you got?
So I didn't even know these existed.
Oh yeah.
So these
Gold
are
foil.
the gold foil from Dart.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'll hold these up as we go through here, but these are we call these chase cards.
Yep.
So these are the chase cards from the
look at that.
gold foil. So each one of them is kind of cool. So I think number one's the Ovion Worker, and it's a really shiny card.
Yeah.
These are really cool, and of course they got the the GF in the back, gold foil. It talks about the ones, but these are all from Dart.
Yep.
So if you got the Dart set, these were the chase cards for those. I love this one. He's got beard oil on him all over. There's no doubt about it. So the Beryllium Nomen beard oil.
Oh yeah.
I didn't like this one as much because it just says Evil Henchman, and it really should say Lucifer, but it does say Lucifer on the back.
Oh my God! You take this all so personal.
But Evil Henchman.
It's the robot.
I mean, they got
the evil robot.
They got a brooding nomad.
Obviously, a fan
Instead
wrote
of
that, right?
A Beryllian Nomen, it's a brooding nomad, which...
That's because they don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
That's what happens when you have people that are not fans doing it.
And I find this one funny because, there's a part in our new movie that's got a bore in there. So.
Oh, yeah, it does. A mention.
The mention of a bore, yeah.
Yeah, mention of a bore, which is really cool.
And then the Alien Gathering I thought was kind of interesting. This is some of these were not shown on the show. But they had a lot of people in the Ovion casino. And then, of course, all these are all...
It's like saying
Caroline.
witty sidekick instead of Starbuck. Yeah, no kidding,
Yeah.
Mike.
But they got this one right. That's all that counts.
Oh, John Van Gostein says, Lucifer needs to come on and address the insult.
Yep.
They
got this one right. So
there's Bubbles. Bubbles is sitting right next to the Imperious Theaters. So
that one they got right. So, but I thought it was cool. This was on eBay. I found those pretty cheap. Not bad at all on eBay at all. So that was a good one. But when I was looking for these, I came across something, and I just went ahead and ordered it. I don't know why, but it was something that somebody. It's a mystery. So if somebody knows anything about it, hey, let us know. But this is a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive card that was being sold. And there's no information on it whatsoever about who or what it was about. It's just Cylons, looks like in a desert. Almost actually looks like they look like the
on a
runway. On a runway. And then, of course... It has, come on, focus. Description on the back, but there is no company listed. But it was given away at San Diego Comic-Con. So
I have a hunch. My hunch is that you're holding one of 3 Second Coming cards that Richard Hatch had made to promote his movie. And that's my hunch.
Yeah.
Now the other possibility is that it's a insert that was part of either the DVDs or the VHS, but I really think that that's one of the Second Coming. I believe there's only 3 made, and that's one of the 3 from the Second Coming that Richard Hatch gave out at San Diego Comic-Con when he was there talking about his attempt to, bring back Galactica and the Second Coming. So
if all else fails, it's a pretty cool card. It says in the end, at the bottom of it, it says, commanders are fitted with gold armor. The red eye is a infrared scanner, much like a radar. The red eye sees all.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that's I think because it has no labeling or trademark or anything. That's what leads me to believe that that's probably one of those cards that Hatch had made.
Right. It is definitely a 2015 or a 20. Well, I can't remember what year it is. It's definitely a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive.
Yeah.
So
kind
of interesting. Rob, so it's kind of a mystery thing.
Yeah. Rob Baum asks, did they make cards? Yes, they made cards. So it's known out there that Richard Hatch had a very small run of cards made for the Second Coming as a promotional thing, and that I believe is one of them. So if you guys know, let's get the word out.
Yep. Also, I've been big on an Ibley kick lately because of the movie. So
The Stranded Warrior.
Yeah, The Stranded Warrior, and came across a company or a person on Etsy that's selling Count Ibley. So I bought a Count Ibley. Now, Mediocre Modeler, if you're still on, I've never painted a figure in my life. So
you should have that done live.
So I don't want to screw it up, but it's pretty good actually. It's well it's definitely not like a 3D print. It's more of a Mediocre Model know what I'm talking about. It's more of a what's the vat
cast? Are they cast?
No, it's not a cast. It's like a vat. It comes out. I don't remember, but it's a pretty good one. I also got the other head with it too. So it's got
the demon head.
The demon head.
Oh wow!
And if you can see up close,
it looks a little bit like Patrick McNee, right?
Yeah, and the belts there and everything else.
Oh,
and then
wow.
On top of all that, there's somebody actually selling clothing for it that had the white thing for it. So I bought that too. It hasn't come in yet.
You're obsessed. You're just obsessed. Admit it.
And then this one's heavy. So
Lucifer.
I haven't opened up his head yet.
I mean, that looks like an exact copy of the actual figure.
Figure, almost, yeah. But here's this. Oops.
Oh, his dome.
Don't
lose the dome.
He's got the.
Oh, look at that. Oh, he's got his brains.
Yep, it's got the brains
put
in
the
there.
Dome,
and
cover
then
it up. Cover it up.
Dome.
Oh, no, it's not focusing. Move it up. There.
I need to get a newer camera. This is an old 5100.
Oh, that's just not working. Put it back down on the red. It's okay. Yeah. Nah, nah. There it is. You got to paint that, man, and light it up.
You know, light it up.
That's
paint
really
it,
well. That's
really well
done.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed with it. I mean, this thing's pretty heavy.
Put the head in, man.
I haven't done that yet.
They should make this Ibley head two-sided and swivel. Yeah, that's a good idea.
But yeah, so I saw this on Etsy, and I said, well, you know what? I need one of these, but I never painted a figure in my life, so that ought to be interesting.
Well, Rob Baum wants to know, speaking of Lucifer, how far has Chris come with his costume? We actually he owns the replica Ibley costume, and we'll say no more.
Yep.
David does look awesome.
Yeah.
Frank Court says looks awesome. It does.
And then, so we kind of want to start at something new. That it was something that was mentioned in one of the. Somebody mentioned online about, hey, wouldn't it be great if they had a V crossover with Battlestar Galactica? And we see a lot of things happen online, and people say, oh, we ever see this or that. So tonight I wanted to bring up the, somebody had mentioned that and said, hey, has anybody ever thought about that? And as a matter of fact, they have, and they actually wrote a book.
Oh, my God.
So Sharon Monroe actually wrote a book called Survive the Alliance.
Nuts. Where did you get that? On eBay?
Yeah, this is a fan fiction.
Oh my God.
And it's 80 some pages. We're talking. It's not a thin.
Two of your favorite things, man.
And some of the pictures in here are pretty cool.
Oh my God.
Yep. So we've got. I love this picture here.
Oh boy.
And
so they're going to link V to the Cylons, I'm sure.
Yes. And then look at this one. It'll give you a...
Hold it up. No, there. We got it. Oh, my God. That's cool.
So you got V, Airwolf, and a Viper.
Airwolf. Yeah, right. John McCartney says, awesome figures, good find. And Rob Baum, didn't one of our members author a V Galactica crossover? Professor Patton did Planet of the Apes Galactica crossover.
Yep.
And... Stranded Warrior action figures. Mike, I don't know about that. Let's one step at a time. Oh. And Fran says, and it's frigging awesome. It is. All of it's awesome, Fran. Thank you. That's cool. This one,
yeah.
Is that supposed to... What is that? That looks like the same person.
Yeah, it's V, and then this is Battlestar. So this is the V thing. So this is, we'll have to read this one. I guess, we did Fran's. This is Sharon Monroe.
Oh, my God.
So there's...
nuts.
If you ever watched TV, you know some of this.
Oh, yeah. That's Airwolf. That's St. John.
Yep.
What the heck? So wait a minute. So it's a crossover, but Airwolf is in it too?
Yeah.
So they threw Airwolf in for kicks, for,
why not?
For giggles.
Yeah, why not?
Oh my God, Serena. Okay.
So this is tightly. That's a little risque, but lizard hands.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So there's one he should have done. Edward Lizard Hands. Then you got A-Team.
What, the A-Team? They threw the A-Team in as well? No. Come on.
Oh, yes. The only picture that matters.
Oh, boy. Jimmy shirts with Kung Fu grip and reversible shirts. Oh, Mike, that's good. Oh, my God, that is so funny. Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we'll have to read this one Sharon Monroe did a lot of good fan fiction.
She did a lot of good stuff. And
this is,
of course,
like I said, this is a novel. I mean, we're talking 86 pages, and we're talking maybe 10 type. I mean,
Fran is looking to see if it's online. So
this one, I believe it is online.
So this way,
I believe there's a digital copy online. I believe so.
That is so cool.
So somebody mentioned, hey, what if? And there you go. Because the Cylons were mentioned being a lizard race, or
Yep.
So what if they were, the V people? So pretty cool.
Yeah, like it. Well, all good things, Chris. Dorian popped on. It's like a novella. That's right. So Dorian Keyes, another one of our team members, award-winning sci-fi author who was one of our first guests when we first started IFB, has exploded in his genre, doing super well overseas as well as here in the U.S. in terms of his book, and he's working on some other great stuff that he shared with us, believe it or not, while we were shooting The Stranded Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
He has a cameo in it, but he's composing original music for The Stranded Warrior. So thank you, Dorian, for all your work and support and everything you do for us. We support your work as well. And so we got to have Dorian come on and tell us about some of he's got some really cool stuff that he's working on. We'll see if he can tell us about it. But at the minimum, we'll talk about the books that he has out now. We want to make sure that we do some supporting on that. Right. And guys, thank you.
I think speaking of books, I've on book number 2 of the belt from our guy from Ireland.
Oh yes, we had him on the show, and it
what the heck was
was
the last name?
such a cool. I mean, we've had a slew of guests that have come on the show, and we have been very, very lucky that we were able to Gerald Kilby. Is that
Kilby? That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
it
Miles.
It was a tough start. I'll tell you that much. But now that I'm on board, into the second book, it's amazing. And the only reason why it was a tough start was I was having a hard time with the voice actor was kind of dry in the beginning. So once I got used to it, it was great. It's been great ever since. So it's been a really good book. Well, a series of books. I bought on Audible. You get all 3 of the books for 1 credit. So I bought all 3. So.
Mediocre Modeler, actually, I think he answered your question, Chris, real quick before we wrap.
What's that? Yeah, it's a resin print. Yes,
a resin print. Yeah,
it is a resin print.
That was important. We need to count.
Hey, Mediocre, what do I paint that with? Yeah, what paints do I use for that? Is that like model paints, like testers or something? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I've never painted a figure before, so this ought to be interesting. Just spray paint it white.
And then go from there. Yeah. That's funny. We are going to follow up again with one of our guests. So he's an author, but he's also a publisher. And Craig Martell, who's on the show, has he puts together a gigantic convention showcase for authors.
His book was Dreadnought, right?
Yeah, Dreadnought.
It was that was a great. I have to get number 2 still. I finished number 1, and it was fantastic audiobook.
So we're going to try to possibly go in November, but Keith Dennis was the rep for Cryptozoic. Cryptozoic is one of like the big 3
the card makers.
Cards. Yeah. So he'll be on the show. We'll be working and talking with him eventually, as well as, remember, we had the Metropolis cards. So we're going to do a thing with Sidekick. So we'll be doing that as well, guys. In the meantime, Tamiya Model Paints. That's what. Real quick, Dorian says voice actors are an issue. I'm trying to voice my own book. It's not as easy as it sounds. Yes.
It's funny. It's not as easy as it sounds being a voice actor.
Yeah, no kidding. But I guess, look, guys, bottom line is that brings our show pretty much to a wrap.
Yeah, it's about that time. Look at that. We made 10 o'clock again.
Thank everyone. Yeah, want to thank everybody. We love having you on board. Please click the thumbs up. Tell your friends to stop in and join us as well. And watch the reruns, right? It's not a problem. Those of you that join us live, thank you very, very much. And those that watch later on, some of our shows this year have broken the 10,000 mark for views. Thank you very, very much. And if you want to contact us, it's info@interfleetbroadcasting.com. We're on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and believe it or not, we do have some of our shows are podcast on Chris. Where do we put them up?
Anchor.
I think.
Well, it's on Anchor, but it goes to Spotify.
You go to Spotify, yeah. So stay safe. See you at our next show. Keep the faith, and as we say here on IFB, Chris.
Fans feel the fleet.
Fans feel the fleet.
Thank you.
Here's to you guys.
Take care.